evening, and welcome to tonight's Love, Sex, Lies, and Reality on helping a child navigate after a divorce. I wanted to do this because
Tonight's
I
Love,
coach
Sex, Lies, and Reality
single
on
parents, and I wanted to ensure
helping a
that I'm
child
able to
navigate
share
after a
with them,
divorce. I
and
wanted to do this
be
tonight's
able
Love,
to
Sex, Lies, and Reality
single
on
parent. I'm able to also support you in your journey as a single parent. Give me a few seconds. Here we go. So tonight I'm sharing on how to help your child navigate after a divorce because you may have gone through a divorce and you may actually not know. Let me just quickly share this on my page and in my group so that others can join in. And feel free to share as well. Invite other people to join in and watch this. I'm sharing tonight because it takes a lot after you've gone through a divorce to actually get yourself together, and you may not be able to even think about your need to help your child navigate. You may not be able to figure out what you need to do to really help. Hi, Maria, I see you. Thanks so much for joining. You may not be able to support your child because you're also going through, and it's hard for you to even deal with your own issues, to actually take care of yourself, to actually support yourself because you still have all the pain. You haven't healed from it, and your child is trying to get your attention and also get the support at the same time from you. You have to realize that their lives have completely changed, maybe more than one child if you have more than one. The life of the child is completely changing and shifting, and the child doesn't really know yet. They're in that space of uncertainty while you are also trying to adjust, because it's a complete move, it's a complete shift from what you're used to, it's a complete change from the environment that you're in with a spouse prior, and now you have to do it as a single parent with a child. As you're getting help for yourself, you have to understand that your child does not need to experience the pain that you're going through. Let me say that again. As you're helping yourself navigate through the journey after divorce, through your journey, you have to understand that your child does not need the negative energy or the pain that you are experiencing. Why I'm saying that is sometimes you may not realize it and you're taking the pain out on the child. Another thing that happens is after the divorce, you may begin to pump your children or your child with the negative energy, with the pain, and energy travels very fast. And you may begin to actually tell your children negative stuff about the other parent, which is not necessary. But because you're experiencing pain and you don't know the process of healing yet, or you haven't even started to think about healing, you're still focused on the pain, your child may end up carrying the pain along. So at this time, you don't want to inflict the pain on the child. You want to actually help the child, navigate through without experiencing the pain that you're going through, and also the other parent doing the same without actually teaching your children to take on the pain, to take on the hurt, and carry that on as part of their own legacy. It's very vital that you come into that space of, seeking the solitude and drawing the strength from within, and allowing your child to understand that what happened to you is part of your own journey and they don't have anything to contribute to it. Most of the time the children always think that they're the ones who who stimulated the whole thing and actually led to the divorce happening, but they don't understand the process that you're going through. And you have to, even though you're going through the hard times, you're going through some of the toughest days. People who aren't divorced don't understand that it's some of the toughest days that you have to face. I've been through it, so I know about it. Even though you're going through the some of the toughest days, you have to still stand in that gap and help your child understand that it has nothing to do with them. It's you and the other parent, you and your partner that are going through this. They don't have to be part of the pain. They are just there to learn how to emerge from it. Emerge in the sense that they don't have to share the pain. Every disappointment comes with a blessing, but you have to teach them how to see the blessing than to see the disappointment. Even though you're going through pain, and it's hard to give love when you're going through pain, but it's time to sit them down and also talk to them. Navigating through, and I'm going to share some things you can do um, with them that can help them. Another thing you don't want to do is while you're going through the divorce, start to over pamper the child because you think the child needs that. That even worsens the case for the child because you may begin to lavishly buy on them to make them think that that's a way of winning them over, but it doesn't show them what love is. And love is all they need in that period of time. Not the gifts, but true love that can help them understand it's not a cycle, it's not a pattern they can carry on to their own generation, but it's going to stop there. And you're going to show them what true love is as you're healing and as you're moving forward. You also don't want to set inappropriate rules at that time for your children because when you do that, it's going to make them become disrespectful. What they're previously used to doing, and you're now setting rules and saying you can no longer do this and do that and do that because you are experiencing pain, is actually inflicting pain on the children and is going to make them become disrespectful and rebel against whatever rules you're setting. They may also withdraw from you during the process if you're actually setting inappropriate rules, and that would actually sever your relationship with them without you knowing. So it's very vital that you don't destroy that relationship because of the pain that you have, but you have to be strong enough to actually support them. Also, you want to give them some privacy, their me time to grieve. It's very essential that each person, as well as yourself, grieve during that period. The more you grieve, the quicker it becomes for you to heal. The more you dissociate from people that are going to give you the negative energy that you do not need, the easier it becomes for you to heal. After a divorce, it's very vital that you separate yourself from people who carry negative energy, who have always something to say about you and your partner, who has to actually inflict more pain on you. Because when you associate with them at that period, you're not going to think about healing and grieving quickly. You're going to think about acquiring more of their pain. They're already in pain and they're looking for somebody to actually come into the space and experience pain with them. So they're going to invite you with the negative energy. Negative energy is like a disease, it spreads very quickly. It's what carries pain along. And so you have to dissociate from them to be able to reason. Like I said in my quote, think before you act, reason before you react. You have to sit in that point and reason and grieve so that you can begin to plan, you know, things that you have to face. It may be financial because your finances have been, not it's no longer what you're used to. You have to start over again, or you may have to set the pace. All that you have to work on. So you don't need the negative energy. You just need support, positive energy support that you can get. Either you're getting it from a crisis center, or you're getting it from a coach, or you're getting seeing a counselor or a therapist. That's very vital because the more you get that professional support, the easier it becomes for you to handle your children when you're at home. You also want to avoid talking to them in a way that makes them become very fearful, because when you're inflicting fear on them indirectly, subconsciously or unconsciously, they're going to become very fearful about their own lives, and everything is going to be done out of fear, and you cannot think positively when you're operating in fear. You cannot, reason positively when you're operating in fear. You have to actually be in a space of love to be able to reason properly and be patient with yourself. So let me start by some of the things that you can do to help them. You can reassure them that there is love, and it's just you have to actually speak to them, reassuring them with the truth. Reassure them that this is about you and the other parent. It has nothing to do with them. And this is just helping you let them know that it's not going to affect them. It's not going to change anything. You're not going to restrict them from seeing the other parent, because when you do that, you're denying them of receiving love that they need in that very moment. So you reassure them, and you speak the truth to them about the situation. Children are very, they internalize things. We adults talk out, but children internalize a lot, and so you have to reassure them. Even though you're finding strength for yourself, the more you reassure them, you may even be surprised when your child begins to encourage you and support you when you're going through. You let them know the truth about what's going on. You keep them in the loop. You be their friend at that time. Don't be a parent at that time, because what they need at that time is friendship. And so you become their friend at that time. You support them. You try and make them build the trust with you, because now the trust is broken between both parents. So they're not going to be sure who to trust, because they're hearing something from here and something different from the other side. But you have to build that trust back with them and in them, so that they know. And then you have to guide them and educate them, empower them with the knowledge of what it is to go through the what you're going through, what it is to go through a divorce, and how that will not impact them, and how it will also impact them in terms of having both parents in the same space. And now it's not going to be like that anymore. Educate, empower them, build the trust with them, and show them love, even though you don't have that strength to do so, because you're going through. But as you're getting help, continue to use the resources that you're getting help from, the coach, the therapist, the counselor, to support them. The knowledge that you're getting from those resources, continue to support them with that. um be gentle with them. Don't yell, don't scream, because that's also inflicting the pain on them, and they grow up to react, to leave that out. You don't want them to leave out loud with the pain that they're seeing, and you don't want to show them you know, your pain when you're going through the pain. You want to go into a quiet space. If you have to cry, cry. I had to do that. I had to take myself off my son seeing me crying sometimes. I had to go in the bathroom to do my crying, and I was sobbing quietly so that he did not really see me go through that painful period and think that it was him. I also had to speak to him the truth. We both had to speak to him. We both reassured him it wasn't going to affect him, and we both showed him love while I was getting help. I was showing him love, and his father was also showing him love, and we still do that today. We actually attend school events together, because again, that's how you treat your children, how to grow in love and not to grow in hurt. One thing we don't realize as parents is when we don't really let the children see, and we start to build a negative energy in the children about the other parent, what happens is your children begin to resent. They begin to grow that root of bitterness in them, and then they begin to leave that out loud, but you won't know where the source is coming from, because you weren't really paying attention to it when it was happening. You were consciously or unconsciously, subconsciously or unconsciously present, but you have to show them love. Like I always say, my ex-husband and I are friends. You have to keep that friendship, especially for the sake of your children. I reach out to him when I need help for something that I know he can help me with. So that relationship is there. My child sees it and knows this is love operating, even though we're not together. We're still showing him what love truly looks like. Things don't work out doesn't mean that your child has to experience your pain. They don't have to experience the pain, because it's your own journey, and you have to help them understand that that is your own journey. That is part of your own destiny, not theirs. They are just brought in through that channel, you and the other parent, by God, to guide them and lead them in the way, train them in the way to go, so that they won't depart from it. But if you're training them to learn how to hurt and how to live in pain, that's all they're going to leave. But you want to help them navigate on the positive side of life, so that they don't act out in pain. Let me see if there are questions. I'm going to be taking questions from now. If you have any questions, um, post your questions below, and I'll be more than willing to answer your questions. Um, for this, I'll be more than willing to answer your questions on this topic of helping your child navigate after divorce. Let me just check to see if there are questions and I can begin to answer them. And again, you can call in if you want to call in while I'm online. You can call in to Skype. It's Love, Sex, Lies, and Reality. Skype ID is Love, Sex, Lies, and Reality, and I'll be more than willing to support you. Also, let me know how I can support you in your journey if you're experiencing any of this. I currently coach single parents. I also support them sometimes with children. I also support small groups as well with their teenage daughters and sons, as well as the parents with workshops. So if you need my support, let me know how I can support you in your journey and help you and your children or your child navigate through a period of separation or divorce. If there are no questions, no, actually, let me check that. Um, Olupumi Mustafa says, when you speak about the factors that will not make married parents not to experience any form of divorce, I think divorce can be stopped. Yes, divorce can be stopped. Definitely. I will not encourage you if you're going through abuse to stay in an abusive environment. I will suggest to you to get help. But if you know that you can reconcile the marriage, please do get help to reconcile your marriage. I'm all for marriages. I'm not a big fan of divorce. I don't wish it on my enemy. I never saw it coming. So I will never suggest that you get divorced. Don't mirror who you're seeing as your next door neighbor who's going through it, because you have no idea what they're going through or what they've been through to get to where they are. So again, yes, divorce can be stopped. You don't have to stay in. You don't have to. You don't have to leave if you can resolve your issues. And I support married women, married couples as well with conflict resolution, because it's very important to know how to resolve your conflicts, and take that, go home with it, work together as a couple, and become better, not bitter. Because most of the time you're mirroring other people that you see, what you see on TV, that energy is carried on, and you think that's reality, but it's not. And so, again, about navigating with your child, if you have any questions, feel free to post them. I'll be here for the next 1 or 2 minutes answering questions. If not, I will sign off, and I will let me check one more time to see if there are questions and I can take the questions. If there are no questions, I will sign off, and I will see you all next Friday on Love, Sex, Lies, and Reality Talks. All right, there are no questions. Thank you so much for joining. If you know anyone going through a divorce and need support in helping their children navigate, I encourage you to please share this and help them, support them by sharing this, and helping them learn how they can help their children navigate through a difficult time in their life. And while they're getting help, I also encourage you, don't just get help for yourself, get help for your children, empower them, and help them know that divorce is not needed if there's no abuse, because we can easily resolve conflicts. We can put aside our ego, we can put aside our differences, and we can come to the table and resolve issues by getting the help of a coach, a therapist, or a counselor to help you get to where you need to be and work on your marriage to make your lives become better, not bitter. I'll talk to you all soon, and you'll have a great evening. God bless.